Athena and I are out on a walk this morning. It is springtime, and that means we're getting our RVs ready for a busy camping season. So I do two main things to get ready, and the first is to de-winterize my trailer. I've already done that and done a video on that. The second thing is I schedule a shakedown cruise close to home on a couple days where it's going to be kind of showery. And so this has been perfect. I'm about 45 minutes from home at Champooey State Park in Oregon, and it's been off and on showers, so I can test to see if there are any leaks in my trailer that I need to take care of before I go on a longer trip further from home. So without any further ado, why don't we get to my checklist? After de-winterizing, and by de-winterizing I am mainly talking about getting the water systems flushed and ready, I make sure the tire pressures are up to the correct level. After several months, the tire pressure here had dropped from the recommended 50 psi down to 42 psi. Now gas is expensive, so make sure your tire pressures are up to the recommended level for your trailer. Then, after giving the slide out a quick lube and putting some fresh water in the tanks, I'm ready to go. On a shakedown trip, I don't mind a good soaking while driving. Water and 65-mile-per-hour winds make for a good test to see if there are any leaks. One of the things I'm trying out this year is this thick neoprene pad to prevent the leveling wedge from sliding, which has always been a very annoying problem. As you can see, this appears to have solved that problem. This particular trip is an annual shakedown for my camping friends who currently or once owned a teardrop trailer. You know, we've all been friends for years, so no matter what we're camping in, we're happy to see each other after several months apart. Typically, when I'm on a shakedown, I'll spend the first day hooked up to water and power, and then on day 2, I will disconnect as if I'm boondocking. I suggest just living your normal RV life and keeping your eyes open for anything that needs a fix. For me, that means cooking indoors to make sure the propane is working okay, baking something in the convection oven, and relaxing with Athena listening to music or watching a movie. Woo! We are just back from a hike and it started uber raining outside. It's these kinds of showers that I love to have when I'm on my shakedown cruise to make sure there are no leaks anywhere in the RV. My battery monitor tells me that the battery charging system is working fine. This is a graph of the first day showing the full charge level while I'm plugged in at home, the drop-in level while I'm driving because I put the fridge in battery mode while I was driving, and then arriving at camp and getting plugged into shore power again. The only problem I encountered on day 1 was a real head scratcher for a while. In this video, you can see that while I was running on the water pump, both the hot and the cold water came out okay. I turned the water pump off so that now I am on city water only, and then only the cold ran fine, but the hot kind of fizzled out to a trickle. So that's strange, right? I figured I must have a clog in the line somewhere, but then it had to be somewhere between the city hot water supply and the hot water tank? That's weird and kinda impossible. I imagine myself having to somehow snake out the city water supply line, but then why was the cold water running okay? Okay, after a day of scratching my head, I went out to the spigot and discovered it wasn't turned on full, only 3/4 full. So I decided to turn it up to full and see what happened. And that fixed the problem. Both hot and cold water ran okay after that. So I guess what this tells me is that the hot lines need a bit more pressure than the cold? I don't know. If you have other ideas, leave your thoughts in the comments. Early on day 2, I disconnect the water by turning off the spigot and disconnect shore power by turning off the breaker at the post. So now I'm boondocking and testing battery-operated systems like the water pump, propane water heating, the propane furnace, the propane refrigerator setting, and testing the inverter and watching the charge levels on my batteries. This graph tells me everything is good. Here is where I disconnected from shore power. Then this shows the charge level on the battery increasing while I drove home. This was my stop for pizza. This was where I disconnected from the truck and started unloading the trailer. And here's where I finally plugged back into shore power back at home. All looks exactly as it should. This year I have just a few punch list items after my shakedown weekend. First, my favorite pot handle broke, so I need to try to fix this or get a new pot. Secondly, I found 3 of these bugs in the trailer. Apparently, Washington State is getting infested with these stink bugs. They are after our crops and not our homes and RVs, so I think my RV is safe, but I'm inspecting for egg sacs. And third, I forgot to put my 2024 tabs on. Good thing my shakedown was close to home and I didn't get busted. Of course, regarding shakedowns, you can always just hook up your trailer to water and electrical at your home. You can get a garden hose out and spray over the top to simulate rain and do a lot of these other things at home. But then you would miss out on all this. I suppose what you could say is the third version, or the third reason we go on a shakedown, is to get all excited for the camping season to come, because being out here makes me super duper excited to go out and go camping. Okay, so I'm going to sign off until the next video, and hey, go ahead and subscribe, and thanks for tuning in. Talk to you later.